Mercedes Mone wins her 9th title belt. Plus, Randy Orton returns on last night's SmackDown, and WWE had to reshoot a botched SmackDown ending. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. Big weekend in the UK for the wrestling. AEW Forbidden Door tomorrow night
Indeed.
at the O2. And it's a massive weekend of indie shows as well. Riot Cabaret last night at Clapham Grand. And 2 nights of Rev Pro kicked off last night. And we saw a title change.
We did indeed. I mentioned it on predictions this week. Mercedes Mone has won the Discovery Women's Championship from Emerson Jane at Rev Pro last night. That is her 9th title around the world. When you talk about world champions, she has a belt in every port. She is around the world with a different championship. Incredible that she, this people criticize her for this gimmick because it's the belt collector gimmick, and at some point you can have too many championships. I'm really enjoying the ride that she's telling and the story that she's telling with winning all these championships. I think it gives good eyes to these smaller promotions such as Discovery based in Edinburgh, Scotland. And what an opportunity to have the match with Emerson Jane.
And also, and I think it's forgotten as well. And I think because all people will see is like the headline. She's now she's held 9 championships. She's won. She holds 9 title belts. She's winning championships everywhere. But in doing so, she's having banger matches in the process.
Really
like Emerson Jane is one of those talents from the UK that absolutely stands out and has been a strong representation of what the UK wrestling scene in 2025 is all about. And her and Mercedes Mone had an absolute banger last night at Rev Pro show. And consequently, we now have a new Discovery Women's Champion in Mercedes Mone. So she now holds the AEW TBS Championship. Yeah. She holds the Owen Hart title belt, the CMLL Women's World title, the Rev Pro Undisputed Women's title. That is bundled with the Queen of Southside title.
That's kind of merged now, isn't it?
Yeah. I had a chat with Andy Quilden from Rev Pro about that. You can watch that on the channel. The EWA title, the Primetime Wrestling Women's title, and the Bestia Wrestling Women's Championship.
It's a lot of belts. I love the fact that she has a belt to hold up her belts. It's an incredible
Does
look.
that make it her 10th belt?
Well, no, like she's using the, I guess. Yeah, she's, but there's so many things they can do with this. I know that, as I said, there's a lot of criticism for it because really she should be prioritizing the Women's World Championship in AEW to make it the most important prize. But at the same time, she's elevating everything else around her because of who she is. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm excited to see what she does at the weekend. Will she manage to keep hold of her TBS title in the O2 in London? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe this will be a short-lived 9 world titles and it'll go down to 8.
Oh, potentially. Well, whatever happens, the one thing that is guaranteed is she is going to have a nightmare coming through customs.
God, imagine trying to get those through security. She actually does as well. I saw her put out a tweet asking if anyone could be her title bag carrier as a legitimate job. It's like, does anyone want it? Because I need more hand luggage.
Hey, I know a guy called Paul who started his wrestling career as a bag carrier, and now he is part of one of the biggest company on the planet. So
yeah, exactly. Triple Paul, if you want a job, Mercedes hiring.
Yeah, I'd love it if that was how it went. Last night on SmackDown, Randall Keith made his return, and flawless work by WWE's production team on this one as Drew McIntyre is cutting a promo once again, chastising Cody Rhodes, who hasn't been seen now.
He's not been seen. He got Claymored through a damn table, Tom. That's why he's not been seen.
That'd be why.
And Drew McIntyre didn't see what was coming. It was a literal RKO out of nowhere.
Fabulously shot. You just see Randy Orton pop up other side of the screen, and then whoppa, RKO. Now, this suggests to me, Fraser Paws, that we're not getting Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes in Paris.
Possibly. It could be that they've kind of kicked that one down the road a little bit to WrestlePalooza, and instead in Clash in Paris we may get a match between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. We know there's only 4 matches currently set for Clash in Paris. I will talk about some title matches that are around that weekend in just a moment, but it looks like we could be getting this match as a placeholder to, as I said, kick the can down the road a little bit.
Possibly so. Yeah, there was a few matches that were speculated to be part of Clash in Paris next weekend, but it looks as if some of these are going to be happening on the SmackDown before that in Lyon, including the Secret Hervis challenging Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss for the women's tag team titles. Piper Niven picking up a win over Charlotte Flair via shenanigans last night.
It's a little bit of shenanigans.
Tiniest.
Yeah, a little bit of shenanigans, but they did win that match. So it gets them a title opportunity next week. But also Solo Sikoa will defend his US title against Sami Zayn. This is a match I thought would be on the Paris show. I thought this would be on the main card itself, but obviously WWE likes to make the SmackDown and Raw around a pay-per-view now, or a premium live event, more attractive, and by doing so, they've put his Sami Zayn title match on there, and I kind of hope he wins.
Yeah, Street Profits are facing Melodic Mears as well. The winners will face the tag team champions. I wonder whether that might make it onto the Clash in Paris card, because at the moment there's a couple of gaps on that show.
Yeah, so there's only 4 matches. The report from the Observer this week says they were looking to maybe make it 7 because there was a couple matches they wanted to add. One of the matches mentioned in that report, though, was Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa, and then the other one was Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. So it looks like both of those have maybe changed. The plans have maybe changed. They're obviously, one's on SmackDown, one maybe at WrestlePalooza. So what do we have instead on Clash in Paris? Well, I feel like you've got to put AJ Styles on there because Paris love AJ Styles, or France loves AJ Styles.
They really, really do.
He's phenomenal.
He is. But what we do have John Cena versus Logan Paul. Now, this was a bit of silliness. So if you watched SmackDown Live on Netflix, you would have seen the end sequence, which was Nick Aldis following John Cena out of the building to say, "I've heard from Brock Lesnar," and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Logan Paul flies into shot from the left, whiffs John Cena with a punch. It doesn't land, and then he runs off into the night like a naughty boy. Now, you saw that and went, oh, that didn't quite go as we'd hoped.
He didn't get all of it.
Didn't get all of it. A strong gust took down the unseen 17. Now, a little bit later on, when America watched it, they did it. They had a different ending. They did the same thing, but they redid it from a slightly different angle.
It was like an alternate universe. It was a different take. So instead of having it side on where you've got Aldis and Cena and then Logan Paul coming from behind the camera shot was behind John Cena's shoulder, and you saw Nick Aldis come towards him, and then Logan Paul threw Nick Aldis out the way and then just slapped John Cena to the floor. It got the same point across. It was the same dialogue that they used in that one. It's just very strange to see the behind workings of it. It didn't go quite as well as they wanted, but they're not live, so they can.
Let's just do it again. I'm sure no one will notice.
No one will notice. This will have been fine 20 years ago because they didn't have social media that would immediately go, hang on, I was using a VPN to watch it earlier. And now it's different on the live feed a few hours later. These things happen. Looking back, I think they could have got away with the original cut. I think they could have just changed the camera angle. They could have just... Cena turns too quick and goes down, but they could have gotten away with it.
They did it all in one camera with one take. There wasn't an alternative camera angle to have. I think they would have got grief for having that be the only one, but it would have been just sort of a little bit of Botchamania flavored grief, where it was just like, oh, I didn't get all of it, la la la. But in doing it this way, I would say that the way they did it the second time looked tons better.
Oh, for sure.
In far more visually pleasing. You see Logan Paul's face as he comes towards John. John doesn't have time to react. The punch you don't see land, but because of the way that it's angled, the implication is there that it does land. It looked better, but the fact that then obviously people went online and just put side by side the fact, hey, they did the ending twice live.
Throws me back to, I think it was a SmackDown in 2009 where they reshot the match ending for a tables match with John Morrison and Triple H, and it was like mythic footage that you couldn't find, whereas now it's just scrolling about Twitter. It's all over there. You can't miss it. I've seen the ending now 5 times because it's just popping up on my feed.
There's a hilarious moment from SmackDown in 2002, I want to say, where it was Undertaker versus Kurt Angle. They completely botched the finish where Undertaker had an armbar on Angle, and Angle was pinned as Undertaker. Angle had an armbar on Undertaker. Yeah. It was a pin and tap out at the same time. They ballsed it all up. They reshot it after SmackDown aired, but they had members of the crew in a real close shot pretending to be the crowd. So when you watch SmackDown, and the thing is, if you're not looking for it, you don't see it.
You'll miss it, yeah.
But then if you're looking for it, you suddenly see the entire crowd change in this one camera angle.
And they're all really enthusiastic.
Suddenly more enthusiastic
Way
than
more
the crowd.
Enthusiastic than the crowd previously in the rest of the match. It's such silly moments that make me love wrestling like that, though.
Do you know what? Wrestling is all about silly moments and surprises and fun and great talent and great memories, so why not make some tonight at My World Live? Myself, Jeff Jarrett, my best friend, as if I'm hanging out with Jeff Jarrett.
You are hanging out with Jeff Jarrett.
What is life?
You're literally just getting a train to London to hang out with Jeff Jarrett.
And you can come along as well. Grado is joining us as well. Before that as well, I'm going to pop along because Melina is doing a wonderful show at the Cavendish Arms, a little bit down the way in London. What was the area that was?
It's in Lambeth.
Lambeth, thank you. Melina is doing a show in Lambeth at the Cavendish Arms, and come and see us because she's going to be talking about her life, her stories, telling some great memories, and I'm going to go hang out with Melina for a bit, and then from there, we're going to go on to watch, you're going to come along, hopefully, to watch My World Live. It's me, it's Jeff, it's Grado at the Boundary in Farringdon, myworldliveuk.com for tickets and details and directions
Literally
if you're coming to see us.
One stop from King's Cross. No excuses. Get on the Circle line, get on the District line, get on any of the lines and you should be there. One stop. Come on, man.
Surprise guests. One that I got messaged last night, as if he's coming, or she, or they are coming. Oh! It's a good one. It's a good one. myworldliveuk.com. And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.